Hello friends and welcome. Today we will talk about beta oxidation. In the present topic, I will throw light on the discovery of beta oxidation pathway and its biochemical mechanism. As you know that lipids and fats are storage products in both plant and animal systems. In most plants, storage lipids are in the form of triglycerides. Storage lipids may be accumulated in one or both of the main types of seed tissue, that's embryo or endosperm. In oil seeds such as sunflower, linseed or rapeseed, the cotyledons of the embryo are the major sites of lipid accumulation. In species such as castor bean, coriander or carrot, the endosperm is the main site of lipid accumulation. These lipids perform many important structural, physiological and metabolic functions. Fats or lipids also serve as an important source of chemical potential energy as they yield more energy per gram compared to carbohydrates and protein. Plants store their energy production first as carbohydrates, but during ripening, they transform these oxygen-containing compounds in carbon-rich triglycerides. Thus, a minimum volume is required to stock a maximum of energy content. Conversely, the triglyceride stock is reconverted into carbohydrates or oxidized during germination, keeping in view the energy requirements of associated metabolic activities. The mechanism of fatty acid oxidation was first elucidated by Franz Snoop in 1904. He fed dogs with straight-chain fatty acids in which the alpha carbon was joined to a phenyl group. When they were fed phenyl propionate, their urine contained a derivative of benzoic acid, and when they were fed with phenyl butyrate, their urine contained a derivative of phenyl acetic acid. He also observed that fatty acids containing odd number of carbon atoms produced benzoic acid, while that containing even number of carbon atoms produced phenyl acetic acid. From these findings, he deduced that fatty acids are degraded by oxidation at the beta carbon, and the process came to be known as beta oxidation. In beta oxidation, the long-chain fatty acids are degraded in 2 carbon units, acetyl coenzyme A, by their oxidation at the C3 or beta carbon. It is the biochemical process by which fatty acids in the form of acyl coenzyme A molecules are broken down in mitochondria or peroxisomes in case of plants to generate acetyl coenzyme A molecules, which are the entry molecules for the citric acid cycle, and is then further oxidized by reactions of the citric acid cycle to generate metabolic energy. Fatty acid degradation in most organisms occurs primarily via the beta oxidation cycle. In mammals, beta oxidation occurs in both mitochondria and peroxisomes, whereas plants and most fungi harbor the beta oxidation cycle chiefly in the peroxisomes or glyoxysomes. In germinating seeds possessing high lipid content, the beta oxidation system is exclusively located in microbodies called glyoxysomes. But in seeds with low lipid content, the enzymes are associated with mitochondria. The mechanism of beta oxidation of fatty acids involves 3 distinct stages. Number 1, activation of fatty acids in the cytosol. Number 2, transport of activated fatty acids into mitochondria, that's carnitine shuttle. And number 3, beta oxidation proper in the mitochondrial matrix. Let's talk about activation of fatty acids in the cytosol. The free fatty acids cannot pass directly through the mitochondrial membranes because of the relative chemical inertness of triglycerols, which makes them as good storage compounds, but pose problems in their oxidation. Therefore, the fatty acids first undergo some enzymatic reactions which constitute the activation process. The activation of fatty acids is catalyzed by a series of a family of isozymes which differ in their catalytic activity based on the carbon chain length of lipids present in the outer mitochondrial membrane, known as acyl coenzyme A synthetase or fatty acid thiokinases, which promote the activation reaction. The activation of fatty acids takes place in two steps. In the first step, a fatty acid reacts with ATP to give a fatty acyl adenylate plus inorganic pyrophosphate. In the second step, fatty acyl adenylate so produced reacts with free coenzyme A to produce a fatty acyl coenzyme A ester and adenosine monophosphate. Acyl coenzyme A synthetase catalyzes the formation of thioester linkage between the fatty acid carboxyl group and the thiol group of coenzyme A. Three different acyl coenzyme A synthetases occur in the cell and act on fatty acids of short, intermediate and long carbon chains respectively. One type of synthetase activates acetate and propionate to corresponding thioesters. Another activates medium chain fatty acids from C4 to C11, and the third activates fatty acids from C10 to C20. It should be noted that the pyrophosphate formed in the reaction is immediately hydrolyzed by inorganic pyrophosphatase, which pulls the preceding activation reaction in the direction of the formation of free fatty acyl coenzyme A. The second step is the transport of activated fatty acids into mitochondria, that is carnitine shuttle. If the fatty acyl coenzyme A contains a short chain that is less than 10 carbons, it can simply diffuse through the inner mitochondrial membrane. If the fatty acyl coenzyme A has a long chain that is 10 or more carbons, then it reacts with carnitine, that is 3-hydroxy-4-trimethyl ammonium butyrate, to form acyl carnitine, which is transported across the inner mitochondrial membrane by a carnitine acetyl coenzyme A transferase. During this step, the fatty acyl coenzyme A esters formed in the outer mitochondrial membrane reacts with the hydroxyl group of carnitine, and the fatty acyl carnitine is carried across the inner mitochondrial membrane by a specific transporter, that is carnitine acyl carnitine translocase. This reaction is catalyzed by the carnitine acyl transferase first, which is located on the outer face of mitochondrial inner membrane. The next step involves the transfer of fatty acyl group from carnitine to intramitochondrial coenzyme A by carnitine acyl transferase second, which is located on the inner face of mitochondrial inner membrane. Once inside the mitochondria, the fatty acyl coenzyme A is ready for the oxidation of its fatty acid component by a set of enzymes in the mitochondrial matrix. The third step in beta oxidation is beta oxidation proper in the mitochondrial matrix. Mitochondrial oxidation or beta oxidation of fatty acids involves three phases. Number one is oxidation of a long chain fatty acid to yield acetyl coenzyme A residues. Second step is oxidation of the acetyl coenzyme A residues to carbon dioxide via citric acid cycle. And third step is ATP generation by oxidative phosphorylation via mitochondrial electron transport chain. Let us talk about phase first, that is oxidation of a long chain fatty acid to yield acetyl coenzyme A residues, that is beta oxidation proper. During this phase, the fatty acids undergo oxidative removal of successive 2 carbon units in the form of acetyl coenzyme A, starting from the carboxyl end of the fatty acyl chain. Formation of each molecule of acetyl coenzyme A requires removal of 4 hydrogen atoms, that is 2 pairs of electrons and 4 protons, from the fatty acyl moiety by the action of dehydrogenases. The phase is accomplished by a 4-step mechanism, as will be discussed. Step first, alpha beta dehydrogenation of acyl coenzyme A. In this step, fatty acyl coenzyme A is oxidized by an acyl coenzyme A dehydrogenase to produce an enoyl coenzyme A with a double bond between alpha and beta carbon atoms, or trans delta 2 enoyl coenzyme A. 3 acyl coenzyme A dehydrogenases are found in the matrix of mitochondria. They all have FAD as their prosthetic group, resulting in the formation of FADH2. One has the specificity ranging from C4 to C6 acyl coenzyme A's, while second has the specificity from C6 to C14 and the third from C6 to C18. Step second is hydration of enoyl coenzyme A. In this step, 1 molecule of water is added to the double bond of the trans delta 2 enoyl coenzyme A to form the stereoisomer of beta hydroxyacyl coenzyme A. The reaction is catalyzed by enoyl coenzyme A hydratase or crotonase. Step third involves oxidation of a beta hydroxyacyl coenzyme A. In this step, the beta hydroxyacyl coenzyme A is dehydrogenated or oxidized to beta ketoacyl coenzyme A by the action of enzyme beta hydroxyacyl coenzyme A dehydrogenase. In this step, NAD is the electron acceptor, resulting in the formation of NADH plus H. Step fourth involves thiolysis or thioclastic scission. This is the final step of beta oxidation proper, which involves separating of beta ketoacyl coenzyme A by thiol group, that is SH group, aided by enzymatic catalysis. This step brings about the cleavage of beta ketoacyl coenzyme A by the thiol group of a second coenzyme A molecule, which yields acetyl coenzyme A and an acyl coenzyme A, shortened by 2 carbon units. This reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme acyl coenzyme A acetyltransferase or beta ketothiolase or thiolase. The shortened acyl coenzyme A then undergoes another cycle of oxidation. Thus, by repeated turns of the cycle, a fatty acid is degraded to acetyl coenzyme A molecules, with one being produced every turn until the last cycle. However, there is a slight difference in case of unsaturated fatty acids and fatty acids with odd number of carbon atoms. Let us talk about beta oxidation proper of unsaturated fatty acids. As you know that most of the fatty acids in the triglycerols and phospholipids of animals and plants are unsaturated, having one or more double bonds in their carbon chain. These bonds are in cis configuration. and cannot be acted upon by the enzyme enoyl coenzyme A hydratase, which catalyzes the addition of water molecule to the trans double bond of the delta 2 enoyl coenzyme A. In this case, two auxiliary enzymes, that is isomerase and reductase, are required in addition to other required enzymes. In case of monounsaturated fatty acids, only one additional enzyme, that is enoyl coenzyme A isomerase, is required. Consider an example of oleic acid starting from oleal coenzyme A, which is the abundant monounsaturated fatty acid with a cis double bond between C9 and C10. Oleal coenzyme A first undergoes 3 passes through beta oxidation cycle to yield 3 molecules of acyl coenzyme A, and the coenzyme A ester of a 12 carbon unsaturated fatty acid, that is cis delta 3 dodecynyl coenzyme A. This product cannot be acted upon by the enzyme enoyl coenzyme A hydratase. Here the auxiliary enzyme enoyl coenzyme A isomerase isomerizes the double bond from cis to trans configuration. The later compound is now acted upon by enoyl coenzyme A hydratase and other enzymes to continue the beta oxidation cycle. In case of polyunsaturated fatty acids, two auxiliary enzymes are required that include enoyl coenzyme A isomerase and 2,4-dienoyl coenzyme A reductase. Consider an example of linoleic acid, linolyl coenzyme A C18 fatty acid with double bonds at C9 and C12. It undergoes 3 passes through the typical beta oxidation scheme to yield 3 molecules of acyl coenzyme A and an ester of C12 unsaturated fatty acid with a cis delta 3 cis delta 6 configuration. Since the bonds are in cis configuration, they cannot be acted upon by enoyl coenzyme A hydratase. However, the combined action of enoyl coenzyme A isomerase and 2,4-dienoyl coenzyme A reductase allows re-entry of this intermediate into the typical beta oxidation pathway. Now we will learn about beta oxidation proper of odd chain fatty acids. Most naturally occurring lipids contain fatty acids with an even number of carbon atoms, yet fatty acids with an odd number of carbon atoms are found in significant amounts in the lipids of many plants and some marine animals. In case of odd chain fatty acids, the number of acyl coenzyme A molecules is equal to n-1/2, and the final product of beta oxidation proper are acyl coenzyme A molecules and 1 molecule of propionyl coenzyme A. The propionyl coenzyme A is then converted into succinyl coenzyme A through methyl malonate pathway in case of animals, or acetyl coenzyme A through beta hydroxypropionate pathway in case of plants. Now we will talk about phase second of beta oxidation, that is oxidation of acetyl coenzyme A residues to carbon dioxide via citric acid cycle. The acetyl coenzyme A residues liberated by the oxidation process then enter the Krebs cycle for further breakdown into carbon dioxide molecules. Phase third involves ATP generation by oxidative phosphorylation via mitochondrial electron transport chain. The NADH and FADH2 produced as a result of beta oxidation process enters the mitochondrial electron transport chain to generate ATPs. Two ATP molecules are generated from ADP per pair of electrons passing from FADH2 to oxygen via the respiratory chain. NADH donates its electrons to NADH dehydrogenase, that's complex first, an electron carrier of the respiratory chain. 3 ATP molecules are generated from ADP per pair of electrons passing from NADH to oxygen via the respiratory chain. This was about mitochondrial beta oxidation. Now we will learn about peroxisomal or glyoxysomal beta oxidation. Fatty acid oxidation occurs in peroxisomes when the fatty acid chains are too long to be handled by the mitochondria. However, the oxidation ceases at octanoyl coenzyme A. It is believed that very long chain, that is chains greater than C22 fatty acids undergo initial oxidation in peroxisomes, which is followed by mitochondrial beta oxidation. One significant difference is that oxidation in peroxisomes is not coupled to ATP synthesis. Instead, the high potential electrons are transferred to oxygen, which yields hydrogen peroxide. The enzyme catalase, found exclusively in peroxisomes, converts the hydrogen peroxide into water and oxygen. Peroxisomal beta oxidation also requires enzymes specific to the peroxisomes and to very long fatty acids. There are 3 key differences between the enzymes used for mitochondrial and peroxisomal beta oxidation. First difference is that beta oxidation in peroxisome requires the use of peroxisomal carnitine acyl transferase instead of carnitine acyl transferase first and second used by the mitochondria for transport of the activated acyl group into the peroxisome. The second difference is that the oxidation step in peroxisome is catalyzed by the enzyme acyl coenzyme A oxidase. The third difference is that the enzyme beta ketothiolase used in peroxisomal beta oxidation has altered substrate specificity different from the mitochondrial beta ketothiolase. Thank you viewers for listening to me.